They say music is a universal language, but in drill, there's another language, quieter, faster, and way more dangerous. It's spoken with fingers, not words. And if you don't know the signs, you're missing half the story. Gang signs in drill rap aren't just background noise. They're coded messages, thrown up in the blink of an eye, warnings, threats, tributes. Each twist of the hand carries a weight that outsiders can't fully grasp. It's not just art, it's allegiance. And in some cases, it's a death sentence. This video breaks it down. The drill rappers who didn't just spit bars, they signed their truce in the air. Some are locked up, some are dead, some are still flashing, loud as ever. So stay with me as we break down drill rappers and their gang signs. Tay-K, he is the teenage rapper who became a legend and a cautionary tale all in one. He dropped The Race the same day he was on the run, and the track wasn't fiction, it was a confession. He'd been on the run after a robbery gone wrong ended in murder. But Tay-K didn't just rap about violence, he wore it like a uniform. When rapped, "I'm Lil Tay-K, I don't think you want no action." You want action, you get turned into past tense. Your boy's deep? Well, let's get to subtracting. Smith & Wesson made my .9 with some compassion. In old clips, you'll find him in cars, music blasting, fingers twisting fast, throwing up Crip signs with the same energy others reserve for their biggest hooks. A man even commented, "No one does it better than Tay-K." Tay-K didn't hide his roots. Sources say he was brought into a local street gang from a young age, surrounded by Crips in his family. His mother, a baby insane, a subset of the gang. Tay-K's childhood wasn't easy. He talked about being on his own before he hit double digits. He grew up in chaos and answered it with violence. In 2016, he joined others in a home invasion. The plan was to rob the place, but it ended with Ethan Walker dead. Tay-K ran. He stayed on the move for 3 months before cops caught him in New Jersey. The same day, The Race dropped, but his gang story didn't stop after the arrest. Inside jail, Tay-K allegedly tried to start a new gang from scratch. He called it Rugrats, a twisted name for a set with twisted rules. According to court records, these rules included no snitching, no stealing from fellow Rugrats, and one chilling clause: no hurting children unless necessary. Let that sink in. By 2019, Tay-K was sentenced to 55 years in prison. His signs, his lyrics, his choices, they caught up with him.
But now at 5, the verdict is in for the trial of rapper Taymor McIntyre, also known as Tay-K. A jury found McIntyre guilty of murder, but not guilty of capital murder. McIntyre was accused of robbing and killing photographer Mark Anthony Saldivar in 2017.
What ties these 3 rappers together isn't just music. It's what they throw up with their hands when they think the cameras aren't rolling or when they want them to be. Drill rappers don't just rhyme about the streets. They live by the codes, speak in signs. And those signs, they talk louder than their bars.
Today you're not a trap star, today you are a donor. I don't wanna cool it with the thought I'm tryna Percy throw the on me like I put it in a corner. I made a movie with a op, thought she said I cloned her. She got Stussy on debits, basic and it's woke.
Now shift the lens. Another Crip, another story. But this one doesn't end with more hand signs. It ends with a rejection. Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo came up fast. Since 2017, his name's been tied to the Crips. But it wasn't just rumors. In 2021, a video popped up online. Rondo, in a room with his crew, starts flashing signs. Someone in the background eggs him on. Then Rondo yells, "Crip, no doubt left."
Macaroni, macaroni, macaroni. No.
Gang,
Hey, the person has on some shit, you know. It could go from drip to hopping a
nightmare. You hear me? What I'm saying?
A man commented, "Quando really stacking that shit." But what came next wasn't expected. In August 2022, his cousin Lil Pop got shot and killed in LA. Rondo was right there when it happened. Same car, same moment. He walked away alive, barely. Weeks later, on September 6th, 2022, he posted to Instagram. The tone was different. He wasn't yelling. He was done. He made it clear. He wasn't NH or neighborhood Crip anymore. He dropped the flag, called out the fake loyalty, said there was no point in riding for people who wouldn't ride for him. But it's not that simple. In gang life, there's a code. Blood in, blood out. You don't just walk away. You get in by shedding blood or taking a beating. You leave the same way. Rondo didn't follow the script, and the streets noticed. Rapper Jay Stone fired back, said Rondo couldn't just say he was done, said if he really wanted out, he needed to go back to the hood and get put off. That's how it works. Public statements don't count. Jay Stone didn't hold back. He called Rondo a goofy internet banger. Less than a year later, it was clear Rondo wasn't as out as he claimed. He and 18 others got hit with gang and drug charges. The indictment tied them to the rolling 60s Crips. Just like that, the truth was back in the spotlight. NBA YoungBoy. He's not just a rapper with face tattoos and a cold stare. He's one of the most feared names in the game. And while he's never said out loud which set he reps, the streets already know. Several videos over the years show him flashing hand signs linked to the Bloods. In March 2021, YoungBoy was caught on camera casually walking through the streets. At first, it looked like nothing. Just another day, another flex. But then came the twist. He throws up a gang sign known by insiders as the 4KT Blood hand sign. According to gang members, only someone deep in the game would use that sign. It's not something you flash by accident. And it made one thing very clear. YoungBoy isn't just playing gangster. He is one. But here's where things get murky. YoungBoy also claims another name, 4K Trey. He's thrown it up on Instagram Live, shouted it out in his songs, and kept it close like a badge of honor.
Well, 4K Trey.
You better believe it.
Banging 4K Trey.
The name reportedly comes from a friend he lost at a party in 2014, gunned down by an op while they were still teenagers, Lil Jeff. In Chicago, gang signs aren't just gestures, they're warnings, they're declarations, and sometimes they're death sentences. One of the most dangerous signs thrown on the streets is the GDK, Gangster Disciple Killer. It's a direct threat, a sign that tells everyone around, I'm not with the GDs, I'm against them. This isn't just street theater. This sign can lead to real consequences. Blood, retaliation, death. Now here's where it gets strange. Lil Jeff, a rising name in Chicago's drill music scene, was known for flashing GDK signs. Bold, unapologetic. But here's the twist. Lil Jeff was reportedly affiliated with the Gangster Disciples themselves. That's like calling out war on your own crew. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a sign of something deeper. Chicago's gang politics aren't simple. Factions split, friends turn foes, and one wrong move, one wrong sign, can flip your status from brother to target. People who knew him say Jeff became a new monster on the street. The hand signs, they weren't just for music videos. They were updates from the battlefield, and the battlefield was his life. Then came the Die Y sign. This one isn't about the GDs. It's aimed at their rivals, groups who throw up the Y hand symbol. The Die Y sign doesn't just disrespect these groups. It basically says, you're next. Die Y is a threat against a rival set known as TYNB, which is Lil Jeff's ops, hence the name Die Y. In his song LAX, he rapped, I don't give no pass. You get caught, you gon' call my ops, I'm Die Y. I'm on my way to hit a lick, I'm on the Dan Ryan flying. Lil Jeff threw both signs, GDK, Die Y. He wasn't picking sides anymore. He was lighting fires on every front. This wasn't just about gang loyalty, it was about image. In drill rap, the line between music and violence doesn't blur, it disappears. For Lil Jeff, gang signs weren't props, they were statements. Sometimes they were confessions. There's a story that he tattooed 10 teardrops on his neck, each one for a body. Whether that number was real or not, the tattoo made it clear, this wasn't an act. When he rapped about chasing an op into a building, it wasn't a fantasy, it was a plan. And that's exactly how he died. Reports say he did just that, chased a rival into a building, guns drawn. But this time, the other side was ready. He was shot dead. The way he lived, the way he rapped, it all came full circle.
And I'm sliding, take the car, turn it to a hit car. You know this, I see me and Kip and I take it. It was me and folks in the high speed. It was me and folks in her in the high speed. You know that, I see me and Kip and I take it.
A user commented, Lil Homie was a demon 4R. It didn't matter how much money he was making off music, he was still hustling and drilling. Instagram Live showed him and his crew, armed and flexing. Music videos were filled with signs and threats. The internet turned into a battleground. Drill rappers didn't just drop songs, they dropped warnings. And for Lil Jeff, every video felt like a ticking clock. For his fans, his death was tragic. For his enemies, it was a celebration. One less threat on the board. The violence didn't end there. It never does. A tribute track called Long Live Jeffrey dropped months later. Artists came together to honor him, but within 7 months, every single one of them was dead. Every one. And what he rapped about on this song made no one shocked about how he went out when he rapped, "Boy, we kill shit for real. We kill shit. High speed with the states, bird in the air, don't care, cause Shaq got wheel. Nah, I don't do liquor, only smoke, sip, and do pills. This bitch talking about love and I'm off the cause that love shit I can't feel." Lil Jeff wasn't just playing a part. He was the part. His story wasn't a cautionary tale until it was too late. In drill, authenticity is currency. Faking it gets you ignored. Living it gets you famous. But staying alive, that's the hard part. King Von. Born Davon Daquan Bennett, he was raised in Parkway Gardens, better known as O Block. That's the heart of the Black Disciples territory. The streets he walked were soaked in history, and every step came with a code. One of the most dangerous, GDK. When King Von threw up the GDK sign, the sign is a distorted version of the gangster disciples' own hand symbols. It's designed to disrespect. It's not subtle. And in Chicago, it's not harmless. King Von's music was full of street codes and symbols. In tracks like Armed and Dangerous, he painted the reality of life where loyalty isn't a choice, it's survival. If you were from O Block, you repped BD. If you repped BD, you didn't just ignore the GDs, you opposed them. That's where the GDK sign came in.
Wait, pummeling on Billy Gang with the block.
Von's lyrics didn't just hint at this rivalry, they called it out. He didn't blur lines or play both sides, he chose his side early. That choice followed him everywhere, into music videos, Instagram posts, interviews, and it followed him into the streets too. In his music, he tells you his side. In his song, Grandson for President, he rapped, "GDK, I be in them buildings where them killers stay. Vernon, that's a one-way. Hop out sparking broad day. Try to run, get caught, that bitch got hit, that was in the way. O Block, we run the city, rest in peace. Big A." Drill music, born on the south side of Chicago, isn't entertainment in the usual sense. It's more like documentation. Artists like Von use it to tell stories, raw, unfiltered, and dangerous. Hand signs became part of that storytelling. They were visual subtitles for the violence being described. GDK was one of the loudest. To outsiders, it might look like posturing, but in the world Von came from, that sign had consequences. Throwing it up could spark retaliation. It wasn't just for show, it meant you were ready for whatever came with it. Von's debut album, Welcome to O Block, wasn't just a title, it was a flag. It claimed territory. It reminded listeners where he was from, who he stood with, and who he stood against. That clarity is part of what made his music hit so hard. Fans didn't just listen, they believed him. That belief came with a price. Von's rise in music was fast. After linking with Lil Durk's label, Only the Family, he dropped Grandson Volume 1, then LeVon James. His stories hit charts, but they never left the street behind. Even as he gained fame, his message stayed the same. His music didn't try to clean up the truth, it leaned into it.
King Von, bro! What's going on, boy? King Von in the hood.
He was proud of where he came from, even when it came with scars. Got a drop on this flexing. He from Tennessee. From where? I had a she be with the shit. She told me where he be, where he at. I said, for sure, baby, let me know if you wanna eat. She like, Von, you already know. Just put your girl on fleek. I'm like, cool, I can do that, boo. What you want, some shoes? Huh? Jimmy Choo? With a handbag too? Red or baby blue? Then came November 6th, 2020. Outside a nightclub in Atlanta, Von got into an altercation. Shots were fired. Von was hit. He didn't make it. He was 26. The man who rapped about shootouts and loyalty died in a shootout, surrounded by his crew. The music, the signs, the code, it all came full circle.
Breathe a bit, bro. Just keep breathing, cuz.
Hold on, you can't move on that fast.
You got it, my fault.
Yeah.
Man, he's shot. What you mean wrong side? Come on, please, come on, all right.
Okay.
Get him a wheelchair.
His death hit hard, not just because he was rising, but because it made everything he rapped about feel real. The violence wasn't just part of a track list, it was part of life. And for Von, it was also the end. Even now, fans still throw up the GDK sign in tribute. Some don't fully grasp what it means, but those from Chicago do. They know that every letter, every symbol, every track has a backstory. And for Von, that story was always tied to O Block, the Black Disciples, and a rivalry that never cooled down. Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke didn't wait for an invite to the game. He kicked the door down. Deep voice, heavy bass, no apologies.
Someone tell this dumb stop talking about me, nigga. If you know, you don't know who is. If you know who is, you wouldn't be talking like that. Talking about this.
Born Bashar Baraka Jackson, he wasn't just another rapper from Brooklyn. He was the sound of Brooklyn. But what made him more than a rapper was something bigger than beats and bars. Something called the woo. It started in the streets, Brooklyn, a term tossed around in tight circles, a mix of Bloods and Crips forming an unlikely alliance. But then Pop Smoke stepped in and flipped it. To him, the woo wasn't just street talk, it was energy, a way of moving, a way of living. It wasn't about where you were from, it was about what you gave off. He said it himself, that's me, I'm the woo. Not a gang, not a code, a vibe, something you feel before anyone opens their mouth. Swagger without trying, that I'm here and you know it kind of presence. When Pop dropped Meet the Woo in 2019, it didn't just introduce a mixtape, it introduced a culture, the heavy drill beats, the raw lyrics. This was Brooklyn on fire. Meet the Woo was Pop saying, welcome to my world. Grit, loyalty, flash, danger, all wrapped into 2 minutes of pure energy. He confirmed in his son, Meet the Woo, when he rapped, baby girl, come and meet the woo. She know we keep a tool, big knocking on my body, watch who you speaking to. Girl, watch who you speaking to. Baby girl, come and meet the woo. People didn't just hear it, they felt it. That hypnotic woo in the hook became a rallying cry. Clubs, corners, headphones, it was everywhere. Even his mom couldn't resist doing the woo sign. And then came Welcome to the Party. That's when the world really started paying attention. The drill sound, borrowed from UK streets, now had an NYC accent, deep voice, clear threat, but there was charisma too, a cold kind of charm. Pop Smoke didn't just talk about the woo, he lived it. Fast cars, designer fits, diamond watches. The woo was shiny, but not soft. It was street smart with luxury dreams. You could see it in every video, every post, every verse. He wasn't trying to escape the hood, he was trying to elevate it. The woo became more than slang. It became fashion, a look, a walk. Even people who had no idea what Brooklyn drill was started using the term. That's impact. A man commented, "I old head, but this young man had so much going for him. I loved his fresh new voice and can really dig his song. He was also wise before his age. The devil stole his joy." In The Woo, featuring 50 Cent and Roddy Ricch, Pop did something bold. He took a piece of 50's Candy Shop and twisted it into his own flavor. Trap beats met Latin drums, street merged with seduction, luxury met legacy.
Pop is like, he is 50 Cent, like it's a new version of it. The time I did speak to him, they made some changes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking going, I tell him, I said, yo, you got to just keep that clean all the way around because you got to do this. You gonna be like this. And he look and go, yeah.
The video, a flex, expensive everything. But more than that, it was a celebration of the woo as a full-blown culture. Not just music, a movement. Soon after Pop's rise, others followed the sound. Dusty, Lil Kane, CJ, more Brooklyn rappers who looked at the Wu and said, I can carry that too. The style spread fast. The sound, copied but never cloned. Then came February 2020, a robbery, a loss. Pop Smoke dead at 20. A voice that sounded like thunder had been silenced. But instead of fading, the Wu got louder.
Hello? PD, what are your numbers? I'm gonna tell them to wait for LAPD. Alright. Okay, I'll send them. Yeah, me too. I'll get it going. Thanks. Hello?
People started honoring him with Wu Back Wednesday. His songs kept climbing. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon dropped posthumously and dominated charts. Even Wu Baby with Chris Brown kept the message alive. The Wu didn't die, it adapted. If you thought gang signs were just background noise in a music video, think again. For these artists, it's identity, it's history. Sometimes it's the reason they blew up and the reason they got locked up. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite rapper who reps hard, and don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, click on a video on either side to watch a video similar to this one.